At that time Clonee Mosque. Clonee Mosque was the first mosque in the whole area in Blanchardstown. The first mosque in Blanchardstown, whole area of Dublin 15. Now there are probably 2-3, mashallah. There are more now because there is bigger community. But at that time there was a very small community. There were only 15-20 people coming on Jummah. What happened is that at that time I had to think about what will be the way of working for Islam in this country. I had two options. One option was to choose the traditional method, traditional way. Traditional way means that I will establish a mosque. Because I am from Pakistan, I speak Urdu originally, natively. I will in the masjid give the lectures in Urdu. The administration will be from Pakistan. And the people who will come to the masjid, like in other countries in Europe mostly, they will be from Pakistan. Like in UK or other countries, they have Turkish brothers, Turkish people, they have mosques. And all Turkish people will go to that mosque. Nigerian people have their own mosque. Nigerian people will go to that mosque. Bengali people have their own mosques, and Bangladeshi will all go to their own mosque. Why? Because the lecture will be in Bengali. The lecture will be in Suhaili. The lecture will be in Arabic. The lecture will be in Urdu. This is one thing. And because people want to get together and they want to make sure that they still are attached with their culture. Because Pakistani, Indians, Bengalis have one culture. Arabs, and within Africa you have many different cultures. So people want to be attached to their culture. But one thing I realized at that time was that if we go on the traditional path, traditional way, what will happen is we will cater only for those who have come from Pakistan, from Bangladesh now, but we will not be effective that we will cater for their generations, future generations. If we do the same thing what happened in Germany or in Holland or in England, that we will isolate ourselves within Muslims, we will isolate ourselves, and our masjid will only be for the Pakistanis. What will happen is that our future generations of the Muslims will be then left out, and there will be a big problem then to get them attracted again into the mosques. Because they will see themselves first as Pakistani, first as Indian, first as African, and then as Muslim. And it is a very dangerous thing to do. So I realized that no, what we need to do is we need to have an Islamic center where people from all different countries come together. This is exactly what Islam is all about. Because Islam says that your nationality, your race, your background is important, but it is secondary. Secondary. The first and foremost important thing which connects all of you, which makes you one family, one ummah, is iman, is belief. So this is why it was important to have a mosque not just for the Pakistanis, for the Turkish, Africans or Arabs, but for everybody who is a Muslim. So pluralism is, as I said, pluralism is to create an environment where everybody coexists with acceptance. So this was one obstacle. Alhamdulillah, we faced through it. The second obstacle was a very difficult obstacle. The second obstacle was now when we have realized that we will have in the masjid not just people from Pakistan. The khutbah will not be just in Urdu, but it will be in the language where everybody can speak, everybody can understand, which is English here. Now, the problem is, within Islam, there are various different sects, various different schools of thoughts, various different groups. Some are Sunni, some are Shia, some are Wahhabi, some are Barelvi, etc., and you can maybe make 2 or 3 more sects, I don't know, but I know that these are the main. So the problem was that what do we make this Islamic center? Do we make it a Sunni center, a Shia center, Barelvi center, Wahhabi center? What do we make it? Then I thought about who am I, me? What is my school of thought? my aqidah is the aqidah of the majority of the Muslim ummah, which is Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Sunnis. But then I said, if I call the markaz, the center, Sunni Islamic center, I will exclude the other people from Islam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never excluded anybody, any particular group out of the fold of Islam. He never said that these are people who are kuffar. He never said that. He included people in Islam. So if I will say that, this is just a Sunni Islamic center, it will be a problem. It means I will only include those who are there to my school of thought. Everybody else I will exclude out of the ummah. I cannot do that. Because even in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, very important hadith, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, in my ummah there will be 73 sects. And two sects among them, one will enter paradise, the other will go to dawzah, nar, fire. This is a hadith, sahih hadith. But they say that it means only one group is Muslim, everybody else is kafir, non-believers. You must understand, the Prophet ﷺ said, Fi ummati, in my ummah, there will be 72 sects. So did he exclude them, these people, out of his ummah, or did he still include them in his ummah? What did he say? He said, in my ummah. So he still included them in his ummah. Then he said, they will go to fire, nar. The ulama, they say, it means that you have to reconcile and correspond Quran with other verses of the Quran and ahadith with other ahadith in order to understand them. They say that when they will go to fire, it doesn't mean they will always remain in fire. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, Man qala la ilaha illallah, fahuwa dakhalul jannah. Whoever said and believed in la ilaha illallah, then he will enter paradise. So the ulama, they say that it means that people who are deviated from the sirat al-mustaqim, from the correct path, from the correct school of thought, correct opinion, they will be punished, but they will not be punished eternally. They will be punished for some time, but then they will be entered into paradise also. Some scholars, they say Shias or Wahhabi or the Barelvi, they are kafir. Some people say that. I totally reject that. I am against calling one particular group kafir. What I say is, there are certain Quranic rules, those which are established through Nass al-Qat'i, which means they are established through very clear rulings. Anyone who opposes the Quran and Sunnah in those commandments, in those laws, now whether he is a Sunni or a Shia or a Wahhabi or a Barelvi, doesn't matter. Anyone, any individual who opposes Quran and Sunnah, then he will become kafir. He will become disbeliever. We can say that. For example, some people, they open their mouths against Sayyida Aisha Siddiqa, radiallahu ta'ala, the mother of the believers. They say she was astaghfir, they say evil things. We say that those people who say that, we cannot say that because this particular group, sect, most of the people from that sect do that, tabarra, so all of the sect is haram, kafir. We don't say that. What we say is that anyone who talks against Sayyida Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anhu's pure character, even though Allah has revealed verses of the Quran in favor of her sanctity, in favor of her purity, anyone who opposes that, doesn't matter whoever sect he belongs to, anyone who opposes, he will become at the same spot kafir. So when you do that is, you do not say that the whole group is kafir. Because the times of ummah are very critical now. A lot of people are born into different sects. Some people like Sunnis, some people are born in Sunni families, some people are born in Shia families. If you will do so, if you will say all those people, this particular sect is a kafir, what will happen is you will close the door of guidance for them. Because they will never come and listen to your lecture. They will never come to you because they will say, oh, he is a Sunni, he is from a different sect. He considered as kafir anyway, so forget him. So they will never come and listen to you. So you need to always keep the door open, so people like them who are very vulnerable, youth for example, and those who have not had the experience of listening to your opinion, they get the chance to still listen to your opinion. This is one of its benefits. This is why once I have mentioned this before, I went to a gathering of the Shia Center in Ireland. They invited me, even though I'm a Sunni scholar, they invited me and they said, please speak on the Fadail of Ahlul Bayt, the virtues of the family of the Prophet ﷺ. And we believe in the virtues, because the Quran and Hadith speak very categorically about the virtues, the status of the Ahlul Bayt. But the Quran also speaks about the status of the companions, Sahaba. So we have combined them both. When I was there, I mentioned various ahadith of the status of Ahlul Bayt, but all the narrations which are narrated by the Sahaba, by Umar ibn al-Khattab, Sayyid Aisha, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq. And when they were listening to these virtues, they became very, very emotional, very pleased that I was speaking very highly about the Ahlul Bayt. And I told them I am narrating Imam Bukhari. They became very pleased. And then I told them, do you know who are the narrators of these hadiths? And then I told them the narrator of this hadith is Sayyid Aisha Siddiqa, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq. The hadith about, for example, when Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq kept looking at the face of Ali. And Sayyid Aisha asks him later, oh my father, why did you keep looking at the face of Ali? And Aisha Siddiqa is answered, is told, that I have heard from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, an-nazru ala wajhika Ali ibadatun. If you look at the face of Ali, just looking at the face of Ali, it is also considered ibadah of Allah. Who told this hadith? I told them. Who told this hadith? I said, it is not anyone from the Ahlul Bayt, it is Sayyid Aisha Siddiqa. So automatically, whatever they were told from their scholars, etc., they realized, no, this is just one side of the story. There is another side of the story. And I remember until the day of today, a person who is probably 50, 60 years of age came to me after the lecture and he said, oh Shaykh, Wallah, I have never ever heard, I'm so pleased to hear what you said today, and I have never ever heard it in my life. And I smiled at him and I said, tell me, how many times do you get a chance to listen to a scholar from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah? Then he realized, he said, it's my first time. So if I, for example, would be among those scholars who say they are kafir, so I don't need to go there, and to go there and to sit with them is haram, and to eat with them is haram, then they would never get a chance to get that opinion. So intra-religious pluralism is that within sects, within Islam, within religion, you have different sects. What time is it now? 55. There are various sects. So when I started Colony Mosque, I had this idea that in the Islamic center I want to establish, of course the school of thought, the opinion, interpretation will be of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, will be our opinion. But at the same time, anybody who, for example, does not wish to participate in any program, event which we will hold, we will not speak against them. We will not start lecturing against them. We will not say, oh, you are doing wrong. For example, we did Miladul Nabi, Mawlid al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We do it every year. And we do this. But on those days, unfortunately, this is something, we speak about acceptance, tolerance. Look at the level of us people. Then you will understand. And where is Islam? Islam is beyond that. Some people, they, started doing the propaganda against me. Oh, this person he's worshipping Muhammad in the mosque. Astaghfirullah. He's doing shirk in the mosque. And people who didn't know, who was doing the propaganda? People, Muslim people, but from different school of thought. Salafi school of thought, those who did not adhere to my school of thought. Those who didn't want to participate in Miladul Nabi and they say, considered Miladul Nabi as shirk and bid'ah. They said it is haram, it is shirk in the masjid, don't go there in the masjid, don't send your children in the masjid. Why did they do that? What did they do? They did something very, very wrong. I told them, if somebody does not want to participate, it's your opinion, no problem. I will never say, why didn't you come? But at least when we want to do something, then